Welcome to another episode of Radio Cthulhu. And we are joined this week by Julian, also known as Ghostly Donut. How's it going, Julian?
Hello. How's it going? Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty good too. Um, so this week we're going to be doing one where Julian plays something that's actually pretty close to home for him because he's a computer programmer and he is playing a character that, if I'm not mistaken, is a computer programmer, right, Julian? You want to tell us about it?
Yes. So his name is Zachary Poindexter. Um, Honestly, not much goes on in his life. He mostly just stays at home and spends all his waking hours on the internet. Most of what he does is on the internet. He orders food via Uber Eats. He, goes on online dating apps to no avail. And, most of his life is on the internet. And that is him. That's all he is.
I noticed when looking at your sheet that your appearance and dex are both 15. In other words, you're both hideous and physically inept. Like you can't do any physical things really, and you're also like nothing to look at.
Yes, and if you notice my size, because I was going to initially make the character skinny, but because
Right.
I had to
And
put a little bit more points, I figured put it in size.
I should say attractive in the traditional sense, but
right.
Basically you making those both 15, I was like, okay, yeah, he basically ignored those and put all the points into the other side because we did this point by method. So yeah, so your character is very, very indoors, very, very into computers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you chose to what I think you might call min-maxing. I might be using that term the wrong way, but basically you chose to let certain skills suffer so that others could be very extreme.
Right.
So I like that.
And I figured based off of the description that you gave me for the character that I'd go ahead and really play up the idea.
That's a good idea. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Zachary is in a Zoom meeting. And the Zoom meeting begins on the second day of the pandemic shutdown.
Ooh.
You might remember how it felt. Suddenly, a lot of us were told to just go home and do everything from there and basically board up the house like you were in Night of the Living Dead. It was a very strange feeling. And Zachary, what does Zachary do?
On the Zoom meeting, correct?
No, what is his job?
He's a computer programmer.
Like that's it? What is he like? Does he work for a particular type of company or?
Oh, okay. He works at Microsoft, and he okay. he does artificial intelligence engineering.
Excellent. Okay. It is often said that home is where the heart is, but homes must be tended to. Otherwise, these hearts can grow cold, and a home becomes something else. So, you're in a meeting with your boss. Again, it's the second day of the pandemic. So it's the second day you've been doing this Zoom meeting thing. And you're with like 5 other people and your boss. And you're finding it very difficult to keep attention as your boss is just like, yeah, and what I really would like is something more like if you could have the AI actually guess what you're going to want to eat next, because if we can figure out what people are going to want to eat next, I feel like we'll know how they're going to vote. And I thought, Zachary, are you paying attention?
Huh? What? Sorry, what was that?
I okay, yeah. This is like the second time you've done this in like 5 years, Zachary, and I don't like that. So
I'm sorry. Like, it's the pandemic. I'm very stressed.
Roll persuade.
I'm very, very stressed about it. Okay. Sorry, D100. 93. I'm not pushing
so
that.
Yeah, he's just like, you know what? To try to use the pandemic uh, as a way to make yourself look better. Oh my God, Zachary. Oh my God.
I,
No, I don't
I'm,
want to. I don't
I'm
want to hear it. Look, I don't want to hear it. And like obviously you've been watching a lot of television. I mean, you've got one right behind you. And when he says that, you're like, I don't have a television behind me. And when you look behind you, you can see your TV is there. But when you look down, it's floating in midair. And then suddenly your TV just slams into the ground. Roll sanity.
okay. 15.
So you're able to control yourself. You're not like snapping, but you're also like, what the hell just happened? As you're thinking that, suddenly the light in your kitchen starts switching on and off rapidly, and then the fridge door just opens and a milk carton falls out and hits the ground, and the milk just starts spilling.
Okay. Uh, Listen. There's something kind of weird. Did you see that? Did you see my TV fall, or was that just me?
Zachary, I don't. You're doing it again. I mean, like, everybody sees what he's doing, right? He's gaslighting me, right?
What? Doing? Wait, I'm doing what? I'm sorry.
Like, you guys see it, right?
Listen, I'm just asking if you saw the TV fall behind me.
I didn't see anything, Zachary. Well. I mean, yes, we did see the TV move, but I mean, we don't know how you put it up, Zachary. Obviously, you didn't do it very good. So, but and as this is
Okay.
happening, you start to smell. You're like, "What's that horrible smell?" And you look over and you realize that it's coming from the milk that's spilt out on the ground.
Oh. Okay. Um, Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to do this meeting some other time.
Okay,
Something really
Zachary.
weird's
All
going
right,
on.
I'll accept this, but I want to see you tomorrow, and I want to hear that you've got work done. Okay.
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 Sure. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Everybody, relax and feel better, and try not to let this get to your head. Okay. And also use Clorox and wipe everything that you own. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye bye. And
Bye.
then the Zoom meeting ends.
All right. I'm going to go and get the paper thin napkins that I got from my takeout, and I'm going to attempt to clean up the mess with
Okay.
the
Yeah.
paper
So
thin napkins.
so as you're cleaning up all the mess, and as you're cleaning up the mess in front of it, you're like, this is really weird that it's spoiled. Go ahead and roll intelligence.
Okay.
And your
I
intelligence is
rolled a
90.
93.
Oh my God, you got a
Yeah.
93? That's funny.
I
So
got a
yeah.
93.
So
Ooh.
you're just so busy with what you're doing, you don't really think about anything. You just keep doing it. You're like, I have to get this done, and so that I can do the meeting later and whatnot. So you just don't care and you just keep going. And as you're doing that, suddenly your head gets hit and you fly back and you're like, what is that? And then you look and you see that the fridge door is going, and then it just stops.
Okay.
Roll sanity again.
Shit. Okay.
And by the way, we would prefer
91.
91. Oh my God. What a terrible roll. And I got to say, by the way, this is a family show. Please don't curse. You
Okay.
were really, really disturbed by everything that's happening. And it occurs to you that your apartment might be haunted. And this is particularly disturbing to you because you really can't find another apartment in this area. You tried. This was your last ditch effort. And even though the place has bad plumbing and it always smells like mildew, you were like, this is it. This is the place. And it's perfect. And now you're a little annoyed because you might have a poltergeist situation. Go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
So you lose 5 sanity, and it really
Okay.
gets to you. You're like, how is this possible? All these things are happening to me at once. And go ahead and roll intelligence again.
Okay. 84.
84. And your intelligence is 90, correct?
Yes.
Julian, you're about to learn how having a high intelligence can backfire on you.
Jeez.
Because you
Okay.
see,
Oh,
with that high intelligence, you actually understand that what you're seeing is real. And
okay.
that disturbs you. That disturbs you incredibly. And now you realize, okay, I have to do something. And you become desperate. I have to do something about this. What are you going to do?
Um, okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk out of the place and I'm going to go out to the road, to a sidewalk or whatever, and I'm going to try
Right,
and call
right.
the landlord.
So you call the landlord and he doesn't answer. And then you just kind of keep calling and calling. And then finally, after a few hours, he answers. And it's like, yeah, 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 uh-huh, yeah, Poindexter, what's up?
Hey, listen, so there's something really weird going on, and I'm going to need you to come over here and check it out so that I know I'm not crazy. Okay?
What's going on?
Uh, there's the fridge is opening by itself and there's things flying all over the place. I don't understand what's happening, and I need somebody to come here and help me figure this out. And this affects you too because you own the place, right? So I'm gonna need all hands on deck here.
Frankly, Poindexter, I don't really like your accusations, okay? Do you want to roll psychology?
Sure. 29.
And your psychology is
Yeah.
10. So
Yeah.
you're not really very good at like reading people. But
Right.
you're for some reason he's just being really obstinate and he's just like, no, if you got a problem, you can deal with it yourself, okay? If it's not like the AC or something like that, okay? I have things I have to do. I'm a businessman. I don't know if you know that, but being a landlord is actually like really hard for me. Yeah. So I'll talk to you later. Bye. And he hangs up.
Well, hey, the fridge is broken, so
He hung up.
is he gonna hang up? Oh yeah. All right. Well, shit. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the apartment. Okay. And I'm
Do you
gonna
want to
first I'm going
do you
to
want to roll idea make an idea roll? Do you not know what to do? If you don't know what to do, you make an idea roll.
yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that.
All
All right,
right, let's
I'm
see it.
rolling. 20.
20. So you think about it and you're like, how have I solved every problem in my life? Google it.
All right.
So
Okay, so
uh I don't remember yeah, okay, here we go. Your library roll is 75, which in modern games, the way I see it, it's basically a Google roll. So go
okay.
ahead and make a Google roll.
All right. Google roll. 71.
Ooh, nice. So you just
Not an extreme
barely get it.
success, but I passed.
Yeah. So what were the search terms that you put in?
Okay. How to get rid of poltergeist in apartment.
Okay, so you go through everything, and it basically says that there's very little guaranteed ways, but one of the main ways is that you get the place blessed by like a priest of some kind.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google top 10 priests who for poltergeist extermination.
Go ahead and roll a library roll again.
22.
So
Yeah.
you see almost immediately you see an entry for Father Morgan Kilpatrick, ghost killer extraordinaire, and you're like, ooh, that looks
All
nice.
right.
So,
I'm gonna
oh, go ahead. You gonna call him?
call him.
Yeah. Okay. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. How can I help you?
Hi, listen. My name is Zachary Poindexter, and I live in an apartment at 12 Stanford Way, and I believe that I have a poltergeist.
Oh, so you do, dearie. That's a terrible thing. It is. What time would you like the priest to be stopping by looking at that ghost for you?
As soon as possible, I have work in the morning.
Right. Well, he could be making a night call if you're willing to pay him an extra $100.
That's totally fine.
Very
I
good. Then
work at
he'll.
Microsoft.
Oh, right. Of course. We'll be coming round right now. So she hangs up, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get everything ready. And within a matter of minutes, there's a.
Okay.
And the door
I
opens.
go and
Oh,
I
no.
answer the door.
Yeah, you
Oh,
answer
sorry.
the door. Sorry, I got ahead of
Yeah.
myself. And you open it, and there's the priest, and he's got this nice jacket on and everything. Like, it's like a leather jacket, but he's got the frock and all that. And he's like, hello. How can I help you, me boy? I believe you said you've got a poltergeist problem.
Yes. So it started when I was on a meeting with my boss. First, my television dropped.
Hmm.
Then my fridge door started acting up, and some spoiled milk spilled on the floor that I don't think is fully cleaned up yet.
Hmm. I see. And do you have the money?
Yeah. Do you take Venmo?
Certainly.
All right. What's your Venmo? You
So
got
he gives you
QR
the
code.
information, and you Venmo him like $500.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So basically, what I do in these situations is I basically say a few words and I light my candle and I let the candle sort of get the incense in the room, is like, and then you saw I see a sort of like, I say the Jesus sort of things and whatnot. And then when I'm done, right? When I'm done, usually the ghost just like, he just take off, right? He just leaves. So
Uh,
let's try that,
can
right?
I roll intelligence to see if he's fucking with me, if he's like a fraud?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I
You
rolled a
can't roll
six.
intelligence to read him. Ooh, a 6. Okay, so you can't read
No,
him with
no,
that.
60.
Oh, it's
60.
60. Okay.
Sorry.
So you can't read him with that because you would need psychology, but what you can do is kind of figure out the logic behind what he just
Okay.
said. And you're like, well, that does sound like what people say about ghosts and stuff. So
Okay.
so he starts to go about doing his thing and saying some kind of Catholic stuff. You're not really familiar with it, and while he's saying it, you watch as slowly a chair behind him starts to float up, and then it just swings into him and he knocks over and he's like, oh, 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 oh. And then the chair just hits him again. He's like, oh, oh, oh
Okay.
my god.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and grab the chair from midair, and I'm gonna try to like keep it from hurting him any further.
I'll go ahead and roll strength.
Okay. 25.
Oh wow, that's lucky for you because your
Yeah.
strength is 55. So
Oh yeah.
you're able to hold the chair, and as you're holding it, you're like, okay, something is tugging with me. Something is like, going back and forth with me. And in the movement, you can feel a body sort of rubbing against you, and you're like, like whatever this is, I can actually feel it, which is really weird if it's like a poltergeist, like from things that you've heard about poltergeists. And then as you like pull it away, the guy looks up and he's like, I don't know how to be dealing with this now. I'll be leaving. Thank you very much. And he grabs his stuff and he just
No,
runs
wait.
out.
Okay.
So you're like, okay, great. This is even worse than before. Would you like to make another idea roll?
Um,
Or do you have
I'm
an,
gonna.
an actual idea?
I kind of have an idea. All right.
Okay. What are you going to do?
So I'm gonna go back to the computer,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna do another Google roll, and I'm gonna look up how to get rid of poltergeist in apartment without priest. And I'm
Okay.
gonna do
What?
a live.
Those are your search words, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
70.
So it says basically, if you do not have a priest, then someone who is baptized is good enough.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I
Roll.
know anybody who's bad? My
Go ahead
boss,
and
maybe.
roll idea again.
All right, I'm gonna roll 89. Can I push? Can I push that?
Well, you have, isn't your intelligence 90?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so you actually succeeded. So you're like, but
Okay. Cool.
the thing is, you succeeded as poorly as one can succeed and still succeed. So
Right.
due to that fact, you only remember this dude named Jared, and you don't really want to talk to Jared, but you're gonna. So you pick up the phone and you give him a call, and immediately you regret what you've done. But you can't turn back now. And when Jared shows up at your place, you're like, wow, this guy still dresses the same way he did in high school. He's got one of those dress shirts with like the pocket protector thing, and he's got glasses and everything, and he's got like a crew cut type haircut. And he just shows up and he's like, hey, what's going on? So you said something about needing me to help with some like religious sort of thing, or what is it? I didn't really understand what you said.
Are you baptized?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I need you to come in here, and we're gonna do something. Okay, we're gonna go through a process.
Okay.
Okay. What else did it say besides needing somebody who was baptized?
It just basically described the same thing that the priest was doing.
Okay. All
So
right. Now
yeah.
listen. I'm I'm assuming the priest left his candle because I think he just ran away. So I'm gonna get the candle. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna move all my like fat Uber Eats bags out of the way, and I'm gonna make room for like a little seance. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put the candle in the middle of the room, and I'm gonna light it. All right.
Okay.
And then, and then can I roll like a what's like a remember roll?
Intelligence would
Like, do I
work for that too.
remember? Okay.
Intelligence is
Do I
fine for
remember
that.
everything that the priest was doing? Is my question.
Yeah,
All right.
basically. Yeah, you basically remember
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
okay,
I'm.
so
Okay.
uh in the name of Jesus, and like uh like in the Holy Ghost and that sort of stuff. So he's like saying all that and putting his hands up and everything. And like suddenly you just feel this pain in your leg, and you go, ah, and you realize somebody just hit you with like some kind of stick, and then you
Okay.
see him go, ah, ah, what's going on, man?
There's look. There's a poltergeist here, and he almost killed the priest earlier, and I need your help to try and get rid of him. So look, just keep going. Just keep going,
Are
please.
you kidding, man? I don't know how to do that.
You were doing fine before.
No, I was not. He hit me with a stick. The ghost hit me with a stick. I can feel it.
Just keep going, man. I'll try
Oh
my
my
best to
god.
protect you or
Oh
something.
no, man. No way. No way. Roll persuade.
Okay.
This guy's not happy.
72.
Your persuade is 10. So no. So he's just like, and you can tell he's like backing out. So as this whole thing is happening, you're just like, oh God, everything. I'm gonna end up homeless. Like, this is not working out the way I wanted it to at all. And then you decide, I got to try this one more time. So go ahead and make one more library roll.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. 45.
So you make one more library roll, and this time you think about it and you add specifics. You add the spoiled milk, you add like the stick that you felt, and all these things. And that's when suddenly it says a brownie is a mythological creature that lives in the home. And you're like,
Okay.
so you're like, okay, okay, thank you, Google, for finally telling me
Yeah.
what I wanted to know after getting like the right thing in there. Jesus Christ. You're like, how many times has this happened to me? And you're like, okay, fine. So you look it up, and it's basically a brownie is a creature that takes care of your home while you're away, particularly at night, which is interesting because you remember that you know that you have a night job. That's where you've been leaving this whole time. And you realize the same, and then you remember that you've been cleaning up after yourself lately, and you're like, oh, I used to leave food out, and the thing must have been eating it, because if you read the thing and it says, oh, the brownies eat food that you leave out and all this, it's got this whole lore to it, and you're like, this is so weird. And so you skip down to like, how do I get rid of it? And it says, in order to get rid of a brownie, you have to baptize it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, given that information, is I'm gonna go back to that top 10 list that I found earlier about the priests,
Right.
and I'm gonna go to the number 2 spot, not the number 1 spot. Okay.
Okay, so you go to the number 2 spot,
and I'm gonna call him.
and it's this dude. It's this. It is a woman, actually. It's a woman, and
Okay.
she has she comes from a Unitarian church, and
Okay.
seems to be like a very inclusive kind of person. And so she comes over, and she's very beautiful woman, but very like not trying to look like hot or anything, just like buttoned up and whatnot. And she's got her hair
Right.
braided and such, and she's immediately like, "Hello, how can I help you? I believe that you have a disturbance in the home from a dark spirit, some kind of dark
Yeah.
spirit."
Yes, and I'm gonna need you to baptize it. Apparently, that's the best way to get rid of it.
No, no, you don't baptize demons. No.
But it said on Google that that's how you get rid of this thing.
What is it?
It's like a brownie or something.
A brownie?
Yeah.
Like a brownie came alive, and it's like a brownie that you would eat. It's like came alive.
No, 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 not like a fudge brownie. No, like a I don't know, like a brownie. I don't know. That's what they called it on Google
What
in
is
the
it?
article that I read.
So you're gonna have to roll something to convince her to go along with this. So it could, obviously, we know your persuade is awful. So
Yeah, so I'm
it's
gonna.
do you have
Uh,
charm or anything like that? Let me see.
no, I got
No,
I
that, I
got
mean,
none
that's
of
total.
that.
That makes total sense. I love how your
It
character
does.
sheet is completely character consistent. Like, no, your guy
Yes.
wouldn't have any charm. It wouldn't make any sense. By the way, I just cursed. Sorry. It wouldn't have any charm. It just wouldn't. So, um, trying to see here. There's really nothing that you can use. Oh, fast talk. Fast talk. Okay, so fast
Oh,
talk is usually
okay.
that's usually used to get someone to basically say yes to something.
Okay.
Or like to agree to something really quickly. So go ahead and roll fast talk.
All right. 24. All right.
Nice. So while
We're in
she's
business.
saying like, no, that's not how a demon works. While she's saying that, you just go, that's how this demon works. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff you have never seen in your life, and it's so crazy. And you just like go right past it. You're just like, look over here. Do you see this? It opened up, and like you show her evidence of stuff, and you just kind of zoom past all that, and she's just like, uh, so, okay. So you read more of the Wikipedia page, and it says that you need some porridge and honey. Do you have any in your cupboards?
Gonna have to roll some spot hidden.
I guess you are. Go ahead.
An 11. All right.
Nice, 11.
I rolled
So
an 11.
your roommate, who is never around, has some
No
porridge,
matter.
and you're just like, well, the hell with him. Like he doesn't need it right now. So
Yeah.
you grab that porridge, and you grab some honey from the cabinet. It's like in one of those things that looks like a bear, and
Yeah.
you make yourself some porridge on the thing and whatnot. Go ahead and roll dex to make the porridge.
Okay. 19. 19. I'm
Your
doing
dex
it.
is 15, bro.
Oh no. Okay, well, I tried
So
my best. I don't cook
you
for
make it,
myself.
but it's kind of shitty.
Right.
And you put the honey in it. You're just like, hopefully this honey will just mask whatever, what's wrong with it. And so you lay out the honey, and then you and her kind of try to hide. So go ahead and roll stealth.
Okay. Okay. So like
So
I'm like struggling to.
yeah, you're not very well hidden. You're not super well hidden.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll luck.
All right. 57.
Your luck is 55.
All
So like,
right.
so you're just like obviously out in the open while this is happening, and and so right while you're just waiting, she's actually hidden, but you're not.
Right.
And so while you're waiting, you just hear, "Oh, you really thought I couldn't see you now? And then you feel a whack.
Leprechaun? Okay.
You feel a whack, and then suddenly, like, this invisible thing just appears before you, and it's this little guy. Looks kind of like an elf that wears like rags, and he's got a broom, but he looks ugly. He's just like, you're a terrible, terrible housemate. You know that? And he just keeps whacking.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try and take the broomstick away from this thing.
So go ahead and roll strength against his strength.
Okay. 7. Extreme success. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I got a 25, which is pretty good roll, but you got a 7. So you're like struggling with it, and you're able to pull the broom away from the thing. And as you do, you kind of like throw him across the room, and he hits the wall. And you look over at the woman, and she's like, and then she runs to the bathroom and turns on the faucet in the tub. And she's like, she goes, distract him! And she's like turning the water up.
All right, I'm like, so the way I'm distracting him is I'm hitting him with the stick that I managed to pull out of his hand.
So
and
go
I'm
ahead
saying,
and
what bills do you pay to call me a bad housemate?
Go ahead and roll fighting.
You don't even pay rent. Okay.
You don't even pay rent.
22.
So you whack him, you're able to get him. He's not able to respond because he's like still dazed, and you keep whacking out of it. You're like, you don't even pay rent, you little. And like as you're doing that, he's looking up, and you're like, oh. He's actually, and you're like, it strikes you at this moment how much he sounds like the priest, and you're like, oh, it must be Irish. Like whatever he is must be Irish. And you're like confused by that, and finally. He like reaches up and tries to grab it one more time. Go ahead once more and roll.
Okay. Right. 42.
Sorry, this friggin' mouse is being.
Oh, okay. I'm like anticipating, like, oh my god.
There we go. Okay, yes. All right. So 77. So
77.
You guys are struggling once more, and finally you pull it away from him again, and you just whack him hard, and he flies across the room into the hallway. And now he's in the hallway. You're like, and he's slowly getting up, and you see he's about 5 feet away from the tub, and that's when you hear her yell, "No! Get him in now!"
Okay. So what does she mean?
You have to pick him up.
I'll throw him into the tub. Okay.
And push him into the tub. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay. Roll Dex and size.
23 for Dex.
Excellent.
For size, 37. All right. So I'm getting good rolls.
You run over there, and you're really fast, and he's getting up slowly. He's like, he just sees you as you come along. Then you grab him and you pick him up and you go around the corner into the bathroom. He has no idea what's going on. He's just like, what is this? And you shove him into the water, and he's struggling because he thinks you're trying to drown him, and you've got him underneath. And then she's like, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I now pronounce you, blah, blah, blah. And she says all this stuff, and then you go, and she goes, it's done. You're gonna kill him. It's done.
Okay, so I lift him up. A little bit, just a little bit off. I'm still holding on to him.
It's not fair. This bloody exploitative capitalist system makes me have to work so I have a place to stay. And now you're kicking me out. You're evicting me. It's not right. It's not right.
You didn't even let us know you could have at least signed a lease, man.
Hey, don't you know how this whole thing works? I'm a brownie, I am. I don't speak to you, dude.
All right, and then I just like ignore what he says, and then I throw him out of the apartment.
You throw him out.
Like a comic, like I put I drop him and I kick him out.
Right.
And then he goes, woo.
The next day on the Zoom meeting, you're doing very capable, using your skills before to Google answers to everything that your boss asks you. Meanwhile, out in the alleyway around the corner, the friggin' brownie has a cup and he is begging people for change. Can you please spare a little change for a little man? Can you, can you get a job? Someone yells, and he goes, oh, I had one once. And then that's we're just gonna end it there in that sad situation.
Yeah, Brownie. I don't know.